Olamide, you know, it's great to see you this year get your first starts of your career. You're setting career highs in minutes, points, rebounds. What has this season been like for you?
It's been great. I feel like I'm a little bit looser now than I was in previous years, and I'm more comfortable on the team with the staff, and it's been great.
You know, your backstory is absolutely fascinating. Some people know about it, but some don't. You came to Austin from Nigeria via Philadelphia.
Yeah.
How did this whole journey begin for you? What got you interested back in Nigeria in basketball?
Well, it started with people wanting to give back to Nigeria, so it was through an NGO. She came to Nigeria. She have camps like every year, and you know, I was part of that for a couple of years. And she's like, "Hey, I want to help you, you know, get a better education and a better life," and that's how I got here. Is
it true that when a basketball coach in Nigeria first spotted you, said, "Hey, you may be interested," and he gave you his info, that your guardian at the time ripped it up and said, "You're not playing basketball"?
Yeah, I'm never gonna forget that. I still remember it to this day. Like he wrote his number down on paper and take it home and call me. I took it home and like, don't talk to strangers, and they tore it up, and that was it. And I saw the same man again on the same street. I was like, this is weird. And then he followed me home and spoke to my family, and that's how I started playing.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Did you play on some basketball courts that even had potholes? I mean, what were the conditions
that's
like?
how it is. Like basically just like concrete, or like you just put two rims and like concrete floor. Yeah.
So that was just normal for you?
That was normal, yeah.
So then you go to Philadelphia when you're 15.
Yeah. What
is that culture shock like, going from not only Nigeria to the United States, but to Philadelphia of all places?
Yeah, I was a little secluded. So basically, school, practice, home, school, practice, home. So I was like, my accent was thicker than it is now. You'd be surprised. So it was like, huh? What are you saying? What are you saying? And I had to repeat myself and adjust to it to say, hey, this is what I'm trying to say.
I'm from the Northeast, so I know people aren't the nicest, the friendliest in the Northeast, especially in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, did you make friends right away? Was it difficult?
I've always been a loner, so it was like difficult to make friends. But I had like two girls that came from Nigeria with me, so it was like a family situation. And I had great hosts. Maureen, she was awesome. And my coach was good too. So I had all the family and friends I needed.
What made you choose Austin?
Nigeria, because I've heard that, oh, there's a lot of Nigerians in Texas. I was like, oh, this is where I need to be. And like the coaching staff was amazing. And I like the weather because it's kind of similar to Nigerian weather, like the heat. So yeah.
You know, I find it interesting that you seem like a person who doesn't give up. You had the incident with the coach in Nigeria who ripped up the info when they wanted you to play basketball. And then when you got to Texas, you wanted to major in international relations and global studies. You were rejected from that program at first.
I was.
But you didn't take no for an answer there either. And you eventually got in the program, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. You just got to stick with it. Like, if you want something, go get it. I believe in that.
I mean, who taught you that? Is that just something you learned on your own?
I believe so. I would say that I've been alone my whole life. Well, for the most part of my life. I lived with my mom till I was 8, and then she had to travel. So I had to live with, like, family and friends, like family friends. So I've learned to, like, mature on my own and, like, learn to do stuff on my own. Learn to, like, depend on myself for most of what I need to do in life.
How difficult is that? It seems a little bit daunting.
Well, if you've had many years of practice, it's not really that bad anymore.
Right.
Yeah. And you learn to get stuff done, so yeah.
You know, we've talked to Coach Aston a lot over the years, and she can certainly be tough, but she's never had a bad word to say about you. She has always been such a big fan of yours. Why do you think
she's just being nice? We've had our moments, okay?
Oh, okay, off camera.
Off camera, okay, because in practices, she's like, I don't do what I'm supposed to do sometimes, and she's like, how do I get through you? Because I'm not a yeller, so I just retreat in my circle. She just gets annoyed with that because she wants like responses from me, and I don't give her anything. She's like, what can I do to this girl?
What kind of role have you taken this year, now being a senior? Do you consider yourself a leader on the floor and in practice? What is your role?
I would say in practice more of. It's just learn to use my voice. I'm very loud. I have a very deep voice, and just like screaming at people. They get annoyed by that, but it's just what I do. I just scream at people and trying to do it because I cannot say to my teammate to do something right if I don't. So just trying to do things right as I go along is what I've taken out of it this year.
Is coaching something you may want to get into and continue the screaming down the line?
My kids would not like me if I'm a coach. They would leave the team because I come from that Nigerian mentality of like being tough on kids. Like, you gotta do this. I'm nice too. Like, I know how to like cuddle them, but it's just like, you have to do it. There's no like excuse or like there's no way out. Like you have to.
What's next for you? We mentioned it's your senior year. What's next for you after basketball?
I don't know, but I am applying to graduate schools soon. I'm taking the GRE soon, so we'll see how that goes. I might be moving back to the East Coast, but I would say that I'm going to graduate school after this, probably.
What's the best advice you would give to a young Mide who at 15 is just moving to the United States?
Don't be too worried about the future. It's just going to play out. God has a plan for you is a big thing, and just keep pushing and keep being nice to people and just keep smiling.
Well, we thank you for joining us. You've been an inspiration all your time on the 40 acres, and thanks again, Mide.
Thank you for having me.